In Minecraft UHC, only the strong survive, but what if I even the odds? I'm Dasher the Ruler, and in today's video I got 18 of my friends together in 9 teams of 2 for a duo Minecraft Ultra Hardcore match, where each team member got a buff or nerf depending on their skill level. The rules of the event were simple. All players get a 50-minute grace period to loot up and collect gear, before the border starts to quickly shrink and PvP is enabled. Once PvP is enabled, players that die will be gone forever, until only one team remains. The contestants began as you'd expect, collected wood, some food, and started mining and talking to each other. We had this amazing proximity chat functionality that 100% worked perfectly with no bugs, so I could listen to the contestants if I got in range, though the plugin would tell them when I came near, so they'd know I was listening. I'm watching Theo and Ben, but I think they can hear me.
Hey, John.
Why can't I teleport to icon?
Some definitely got off to better starts than others. Expectedly, many of the noobs were struggling severely, and actually some even died. One of my good friends actually died from full HP to a singular zombie one-on-one.
Please losing to the zombie, no! Please, bro, no!
Yo! Oh no, he's
No,
not.
what are you on about?
However, I predicted this to occur, so we had a rule where anyone who dies prior to PvP being enabled will lose 1 max heart permanently as opposed to being fully eliminated. I thought this may be too lenient actually, as I figured given some of the noobs had buffs up to even more than double their base health, they wouldn't die, but no, they were struggling instantly. Less than 10 minutes, 2 different players died, almost at the exact same time, and I was high-key so shocked.
Nothing right now.
I'm gonna give him the item.
Bro, that guy died already? Wait, how did 2 people die?
Both of these players would go on to die many more times in the grace period, and one of them, Spear 1 specifically, ended up possibly being the most entertaining player to watch. Just after this death, he died a second time, lowering his max health to a measly 8 hearts, and it wouldn't stop there. I spectated him getting trapped by zombies in a village, and I may have trolled him a little bit too hard.
Village infested with zombies, and he's hiding in a house.
Yo, dog. Put a couple more zombies around just to shake them up. Put a couple more zombies around. That's... Yo, put one in the house. Put one in the house, bro. Yo, put one in the house.
I feel like that might give it away that I'm spawning him.
Okay, fair enough.
No, is he gonna die? What are we on about? Wait, what is happening? Wait, oh my god. Wait, that's my fault.
Now I gotta apologize to my friend for what I did. So when that happened, I didn't punish him for the death, because in reality it was my fault he died, and I kept this in mind for later to be helpful if he needs it, as I felt kind of bad. But surely he'll find his footing soon. I definitely will come back in 10 minutes to see him with no loot still, so going over to the teams that aren't dying, we see a wide variety of performances. Some were still on the surface killing mobs, some were in the caves with iron, and some even had diamonds already, like this team with Icon Descend and versing Torix, which is the team you'll want to keep your eye on, as they likely had one of the best players Icon Descend and one of the worst players versing Torix, who was playing on a trackpad. But one team really shocked me, as in under 20 minutes, they were already in the nether, grinding out hella blaze rods. And you may be wondering why they want blaze rods, as, you know, in a typical UHC event, they're not the strongest. However, in this event, they're pretty goated. Outside of just the buffs and proximity chat, we had one more special feature: custom crafts from the Hoplite game mode server. These include many epic crafts, with one of the most classic and consistent being the Magma Club, which requires blaze rods and provides a good amount of power for the cost. I think they were also looking for a bastion, as that would provide a ton of gold and potentially good piglin trades, but they hadn't quite found one yet. Back to Spear 1, he still had no loot, but he did find a pillager outpost. I was terrified he was going to try fighting the pillagers and die, however he decided to avoid it, a smart choice from a peak Minecrafter. His teammate Nervat was in a dripstone cave, seemingly having either ditched him or decided to split up to collect more loot. We'll have to see if it pays off, as even he seemed behind. However, there was still 40 minutes left before PvP being enabled. Going to a new face, Biohazard Beluga was performing about average. He had some iron gear and was in a cave. However, he made a request of me. Me, being a generous and benevolent person who loves the impoverished and the frail, knew I had to help him. However, nothing comes for free in this world, as my parents taught me when they started charging me for food when I was 6 years old, so as a cost I made him a deal. If he can write a masterpiece of enlightenment, I'll give him between 1 and 3 hearts, but if I'm displeased by the writing, he'll lose 1 max heart permanently. He wrote, "Desire is the root of all suffering." and properly attributed Buddha, so we know he's not plagiarizing. This is certainly a good wisdom and enlightening, however, it didn't change my or my co-host's lives very much, and it wasn't his own words, so we couldn't justifiably give him anything more than 1 heart, though he still succeeded in getting a buff. Moving on, we saw all our contestants making varying degrees of progress. Ben, Chicken Belly, and Lapis Dude were still in the nether, stumped on finding a bastion. Spear 1 and Nuravat were still separated without much loot, and Strangest Supernova was, cooking? I actually took a short break while spectating them, and they seemed to be just terraforming the dirt around the village. I was so lost, but intrigued at their strategy. Icondescend and Vercingtorix were still definitely the team to beat, as they had multiple pieces of diamond armor and weaponry and an enchantment table cooking up. However, Tacosaurus and Zeus were getting some diamonds themselves, though my co-host was mentioning how funny it was they were missing a ton of diamonds in the cave.
Okay, Tacosaurus just ignored that diamond. Tacosaurus just ignored another diamond. There's so many diamonds this guy is
because
ignoring.
we have infinite brightness, right? He's in the dark.
Oh.
Yeah, we have like by default spectators. Yeah. Bro's like, bro, it's so bright in here. Why can't he see?
Okay, my bad. You good, Tacosaurus.
Other teams like Not Hamza and Kenji Akiyamiya were making fairly muted progress, though at least Kenji had stayed alive for at least a minute now, so they were making some progress in that way. Sammy J and Biohazard Beluga were making some moves though now, as they seemed to find a deep dark area and were getting another portal set up, though unfortunately it didn't seem like they managed to find an ancient city. Meanwhile, Milksops and Mr. Ollie were looking like last place contenders, as Mr. Ollie only had a leather cap, and Milksops had a leather chestplate, which, although I respect because leather can make some nice drippy clothing with dyes, its defensive strength is pretty lackluster, and I would have expected iron by now. However, they were collecting some, so maybe they'll prove me wrong. Back to Spear 1, and he still had nothing. In fact, he was leaving the mines, empty-handed. I'm not really sure why he was going up a mine shaft with no loot, but he eventually got to the surface where, I guess, wood was awaiting him. Not really sure what was happening here. Maybe the mines were calling for him and he realized he didn't bring a pickaxe, but moving on, I felt some concern for Mr. Ollie and Milksoft, so I decided to offer them a deal. I offered him a pair of netherite leggings and a diamond sword, but in exchange, 4 hearts of max health. A massive reduction in health. However, given he was one of the noobs with extra hearts, he would probably be able to trade a couple of them with it feeling a bit less bad. But he then counter-offered. He wanted a netherite chestplate instead and an infinity bow. A generally stronger piece of armor as well as a tool that helps him at range. It was a conundrum. However, upon consideration of the amount of hearts lost and due to his immense charisma, I had to accept, giving him the gear. Moments later, I returned to none other than Spear 1 and his teammate, the infallible Nuravat. However, Spear 1, over 40 minutes in, still had no gear. I considered giving him an offer similar to what I gave Mr. Ollie. However, as Spear 1 had died so many times, he had lost all his bonus hearts. Losing more would put him in a horrible situation, even if I gave him great loot. So instead, I gave him a challenge. To face his fear of zombies, I decided if he can slay 3 zombies, he'll get an unspecified piece of netherite gear, as well as some iron since he requested 5 iron, which really goes to show how far behind bro was at this point that he was asking me for iron. Anyways, he accepted, and I immediately realized it was daytime. So we just built up and the zombies burnt to death. This was disappointing to say the least, so I offered him a double or nothing, where I give a second challenge that will be harder to exploit. However, he declined.
Because my inventory is full, but I'll make space.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope you would drop a seed for a pair of netherite gear. Like, I'm giving you boots. I'm giving you boots because I was disappointed that you didn't double or nothing. Spear 1's teammate requested to make a deal. He said, "I denounced my teammate, and I would like to sacrifice him to appease you." Hearing this, I came to him and said he can create an altar for sacrifice, and the quality of the altar will dictate the level of reward. They got busy doing that, and many players were getting ready for the PvP, as there was only 5 minutes left before PvP starts, and expectedly, Icondescend and Vercingtorix were already on the surface with enchanted diamond gear looking dangerous, while other players like Ken Akiyamiya were doing okayish given his bad start of dying a couple times. I went back to Nuravat and Spear 1 and they were ready to sacrifice. Note that sacrifice will simply reduce Spear 1's health by another heart because it's before PvP, which will still be a really brutal blow for him because he's already pretty weak right now and like even more is lost. And we saw the altar and well, me and my co-host had some thoughts.
This is disgusting.
I said he was so cool.
What are you thinking? I was thinking maybe 3 diamonds, but what do you think? What do you think? I'd be willing to go down to 2 diamonds.
I think we have to give 2. This was not worth 3. It's disgusting.
We decided to give them 2 diamonds, but in the exact moment they got them, The first two deaths occurred. Taboo Roulette and Rat were destroyed brutally by Icon Descent and Vercingtorix. It had been mere moments of PvP enabled, and unfortunately I missed it. However, for future videos, I will have replay mod and a co-host watching health to prevent any fights from being missed, so don't worry about that in the future. Regardless, immediately after I went to spectate Strangus Nova, who still had no gear and was just cooking meat, and their teammate was underground. Meanwhile, Mr. Oily and Milksoap came into nearby voice chat range. I knew it was curtains for this team. Strangus Nova on the surface was relying on Strangus Star to bring the resources up to prepare. The other team had the high ground and preparation done, making it incredibly difficult.
What is she doing? Oh my god, no!
Strangus Nova heard them early and managed to hide in a hole and just barely escape. But Strangus Star was sadly trapped underneath them.
Out. He's down below. He's like Dream.
He tried to stall a bit and get out, but they got an opening on him and dropped creepers and blowing him up brutally using one of the kits that gave spawn creeper eggs. Strangus Nova escaped their pursuit. However, the trauma of her friend, no, her dearest confidant dying, shattered her will to live, leading to her deciding it would be sweeter to have a creeper bring her to her friend than to continue on. And that marks 2 of the 9 teams, already eliminated. Mr. Oily quickly found Strangus Nova's body, clearly using his oil technique to notice a disturbance in the ground oil created by the creeper shockwave. Moving away from that, we have Lapis Dude and Ben Chickenbelly, the early nether rushers who seem to have cooled off a little bit and only have iron gear. However, they decided to make a deal. If they can slay my co-host, they'll get all his drops, including a powerful trident and a ghast whistle, a unique item capable of summoning a powerful ghast that will fire on your command. However, this is a major risk as it's already PvP time, so if they were to die to my co-host, they'd be out permanently. And the commotion is liable to draw other players to their location, potentially after them being weakened by my expertly skilled co-host, Frankie the Bomb. The duel started and they immediately focused the ghast. However, the legendary swordsman Frankie the Bomb perfectly timed the death for him to be over a pool of water, negating all fall damage. Upon getting out, they began wailing on him, and Frankie the Bomb realized in that split second his only possible win condition was stalling for his ghast. Fortunately, Nerfed, Spear 1's teammate, was nearby. However, Nerfed did not care for this petty squabble, and he had more important matters to get to. Frankie the Bomb went down mere moments before he could summon his deadly ghast, meaning that the Ben Chickenbelly Lapis Dude team now had control over one of the few legendary items, the ghast whistle. This scuffle didn't just attract Nerfed though. The Mr. Ollie and Milksoap's team was attracted as well. They already had a kill under their belt and some nice diamond armor. However, both teams seemed wary to engage at the moment. But then, when everyone, including me, thought Nerfed had ran, he came back, and we realized what he was doing prior. See, Nerfed had crafted the Ravager Horn, one of the other legendary weapons, also capable of summoning a great beast for battle, the Ravager. To craft this, he needed artifacts from the Pillager Outpost, something his teammate Spear 1 had located earlier in the match, and it explains why he appeared to be running. He simply was mastering his technique for using the Ravager Horn, and now that he had it mastered, he struck.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Varun's low-key cooking them right now.
Oh, he's not, bro.
Hey, Varun's low-key cooking
He
them.
utilized cobwebs to slow down both of them, an incredible technique as although Nerfed can quickly break the spider web, Ravagers cannot. This gave him enough time to escape with an ender pearl just barely. However, the damage was done. How far could Lapis Dude get without his beloved teammate? Other teams were making general preparations. Sammy J and Biohazard Beluga were being pressed by the border just trying to get up. Icon Descent and Vercingtorix found horses, which is a massive boon, especially when tools like the ghast whistle and Ravager Horn are in play. Not Hamza and Ken Akiyama were in the mine still trying to find diamonds and getting enchants. Interestingly, Tacosaurus and Zeus were trapping a nether portal. In case someone exits the nether through it, they would be stuck and unable to travel back or move at all, though they seem to do a basic trap with just lava on top, which is also good. However, no players seem to be in the nether, so it was kind of stupid. Moments later though, a massive battle occurred between the deadly Icon Descent Vercingtorix team, Nerfed, and Lapis Dude. Nerfed was hunting Lapis Dude like a wolf hunts a wounded lamb. However, Icon Descent and Vercingtorix got in on the action.
Wait, what is going on? Varun's on the gas with Gastuba on the horse. Oh wait, and Varun's teammate has netherite boots, and he's just dying. Oh man, I should have given this guy more buffs. Okay, wait. Gastuba just leaved him.
Nerfed, realizing they were in a bad position, utilized his ghast whistle to help get some distance from them, while Spear 1 struggled and just barely made it to where Nerfed was fortifying with his Ravagers. The position was awkward though, as Nerfed had a good high ground position in the trees, while Spear 1 was trapped underneath. And although he had figured out he can let zombies burn in the sunlight, that strategy wasn't quite working against human players, so he was out of options. Or so they thought. Imaginary technique, invisible whispers. When pushed to the brink, a player may fill their shield with their emotions of desperation. For a normal player, this just appears like fear, but for an experienced noob, this activates a reaction in the reality around them, turning them invisible to all foes. Spear 1's main technique succeeded here. A blessing? Or a curse? It left the two enemies ready to attack his teammate Nerfed, who had somehow fallen, either by accident or to save his teammate prior to his technique activating. Simultaneously, tragedy struck as Nerfed's summon didn't arrive. In the heat of battle, his tool failed, and in a 2v1 with no summon against a demon like Icon Descent and a coughing baby like Bursting Torx, he was cooked. Funnily enough, in his dying breath, his Ravager came, but it was too late, and although it chased them a little, Icon Descent now had access to the two legendary items, making him a monster. They left the area as Spear 1 was still invisible to them. However, Lapis Dude struck like an assassin from the shadows, aiming for the weaker member of Bursting Torx. Not only that, Nerved's Ravager after death was distracting Icon Descent, making it effectively a 1v1.
Oh, but he killed it. Wait, is Ian going down?
But
wait, but Kastuba's
coming in to help.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, but the Ender Pearl! Bro, he's going for Ian. He wants Ian. He does not care.
Oh!
And thus, there were only 11 players remaining. Spear 1 ended his technique to loot his teammate's body. Though the Ravager horn was taken, there was still some gear of value to help him. Back to Tacosaurus and Zeus, who we hadn't seen in a bit, I decided to make a deal where they both would name their firstborn's firstborn after me, and in return, I would give them a legendary item to help them contend with the opponents, the Sonic Crossbow. A deadly weapon effective at range at channeling the power of the Warden into a crossbow. Immediately after my gift, the Tacosaurus and Zeus team met up with Mr. Ollie and Milksauce, a fitting duel from two teams that have been bestowed gifts from me, with one already having claimed victory over one team. They were certainly favored. However, this would certainly be a harder battle for them.
Hi guys!
Hi.
Oh my goodness!
We gotta go!
No, come back.
Mr. Ollie escaped, however no Milksauce was being brutalized and tragically died. Mr. Ollie soon died afterwards. Would Tacosaurus and Zeus be capable of slaying Icon Descent? Soon after, I was spectating Not Hamza and Ken Akiyami, a fairly low-key team that has survived likely by being so low-key. However, while spectating them, tragedy struck. Spear 1 died at the hands of Biohazard Beluga and Sammy J. All footage of the tragedy was scraped, however the after effects were clear. A massive crater. The perfect counter to Spear 1's technique. Although Invisible Whisper hides himself from players, mobs like the Creeper are completely immune, annihilating him. Back to Not Hamza. They wanted to make a deal as well, sacrificing some of his health as well as giving Icon Descent his team's location, as he was bloodthirsty, especially after his teammate's death. He was so angry.
What do you think about that?
Can you delay telling Kasuba where I am?
I'll give you a 2-minute delay.
Wait, cause I need to get one level.
Okay. I'll give you a couple. Can I give him a couple minutes? David, you think? A couple minutes?
Yeah, maybe like 30 seconds though.
Okay, I'll do that.
I agreed to the deal, and in return, he'd get the legendary weapon Mjolnir, capable of big damage, but against a pro like Icon Descent, it may not be enough. I crafted it for him, but somehow Icon Descent found him, by himself, the exact moment I dropped
He
him.
found you! I didn't even tell him.
This now meant Icon Descent had 3 legendary weapons, of perfect synergy as well. A Ravager for a ground movement option with autonomous damage, a Gas for aerial control, and Mjolnir as a strong melee weapon that can hit at range and summon lightning? A quarrel began in the voice chat of the spectators, arguing that Icon Descent, who had been nerfed to 7 hearts, hadn't been nerfed enough, and even he was inclined to agree. This was the first event, so mistakes were bound to be had. In the next event, we will be getting some more interesting debuffs for him to deal with, but for now, I just decided to lower his health to only 4 hearts, which I thought was reasonable, though at first I gave him 2 hearts by accident.
Yo, Dushard, you nerfed me even more! I have 2 hearts, bro!
That's good.
Okay, wait.
Dushard!
That's fair,
I'll give you 6,
bro.
I'll give you 6.
Shit.
I'm just dead.
I murdered.
Ken Akiyama ended up dying pretty soon after as he didn't have his teammate to the Sammy J Biohazard Beluga team, cementing them as really good at killing noob players who were by themselves. He came upon Tacosaurus and Zeus and they began a battle at range. However, Taco and Zeus had the high ground shooting down at him. However, they did get cocky and engaged him, even though they said this.
Like trying to bait us in as well, but like just like don't like over.
They don't know that yet.
Slightly push them.
And they still engaged on the ground.
I didn't have it equipped in my offhand.
Oh my goodness.
What the
No,
hell?
the noobs don't know how to use it.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, he's just getting wiped out. Oh wait, he killed the Ravager though? Wait.
God. He's got it, he's got it.
I don't know if this is, I don't know if, wait, he has 20 hearts versus 6 hearts with the Sonic.
Oh my god.
That did like no
The Sonic Crossbow does over half of Icondescent's health with a single hit, making it deadly. However, on death, he had a Totem of Undying, stolen from a dying noob. See, me and my friend Not Hamza, who was hosting the server, were working on the server the night prior, and mans were kind of tweaking and decided to have kits which Totems of Undying were added for the noobs, which is a decent buff for the noobs, but the noobs had no idea how to use them. So whenever they would die, the pros would just pick them up as they didn't know how to activate them. This flipped the battle, forcing Taco to proc his own totem and get chased down by a recharged Ravager. However, as the fight continued, Taco got a huge snipe before he was fully healed, proccing a second totem.
I thought it was just 6 out of 20.
he should have one.
Bro, I'm 3 hearts.
One.
Okay, wait, he's 1 HP? Okay, Loki bro has, wait, what do you, oh wait, he has all the Totem of Undyings from the noobs.
Dude, I'm stuck.
Okay, I think next time we're not gonna have kits, Loki. I don't think we should have kits next time. Like, wait, Sam is here. Wait, Sam's in.
Oh.
Wait, a new team has emerged.
What do you mean, bro? I'm just a good guy.
Okay.
Honest to goodness, good guy.
Bro, you're like a snake in the grass, bro.
What do you mean? There's like 7 people.
That was his totem. That was his totem. That was his totem.
Bro said that was his totem. Oh wait, but Mjolnir?
He has more than 2?
The lack of players triggered deathmatch, meaning the final 4 players, Tacosaurus, Icondescent, and the Sammy J Biohazard Beluga team would be in close proximity to battle.
Yo, damn, my Ravager did not spawn. That's actually cut brutal, bro.
Yo, that's what happened to me, bro.
Shut up!
Dude, it was so funny watching you on the tree with Parth just trying to protect himself with the shield.
Yo, how did that guy survive that fight?
I have
How did I survive that?
Icondescent realized it'd be foolish to go into the fight early, so he waited to see what would happen. And in that time, Biohazard and Sam found Taco, and the chase began.
Jump him.
No,
You attacked me
first!
first! You attacked me first! No, you swung first!
But before they could get him down, Icondescent came in on Biohazard Beluga with a legendary smite.
Oh my god, what's happening?
You cannot face take this.
Okay, they broke the shield.
Brother.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam doesn't know how to break cobwebs apparently.
They procced another one of his totems, totaling 3 used now, but got evaded by his pro cobweb placement, letting him escape into the shadows. Meanwhile, Taco thought it'd be a good idea to get back in there, but this caused them to draw their ire once again on him, getting him chased once again.
Oh, Magma Club, Magma Club.
Oh my god, he really missed
just
the
threw Mjolnir from the...
Well, I mean, I'm not chasing you, can try.
Oh, he's not behind me.
I'm not. Whoa!
Fight went on, with Taco being chased and Icondescent trying to take advantage of it, and then the reverse happening with Icondescent escaping with ease. However, in the end, a duel was destined, and all 4 met up in the center. There were sonic booms blasting and Mjolnirs flying. With resources getting low, it was anyone's game. The Sammy J Biohazard Beluga team was unable to get into the trees where Taco and Icondescent were, but the explosive legendary weapons were whittling away at their natural cover, as well as Biohazard Beluga and Sammy J cutting the trees manually with their axes.
Yeah. Lower it.
No! No, dude.
Wait, is somebody awarded? Oh my god. Wait, is somebody awarded?
Wait,
Oh wait, is it not?
wait, where?
I think he needs to be activated one more time.
The situation almost seemed dire for the duel in spite of the other 2 being alone. They even had to hide for a bit, however, eventually they did get on equal footing again and had Taco on the ropes. And in that moment, Taco made a massive mistake. He saw Biohazard Beluga chasing Icondescent, but not the Sammy J chasing behind him.
Dude, the Mjolnir noise is crazy.
Oh shit, I
Oh
launched
my
it.
goodness, Theo's getting comboed. Wait, but Taco's nearly dead. Oh no.
Oh
Shit.
No.
Icondescent wouldn't let this moment be his end though. He knew Biohazard Beluga was low, and if he let them reset with the bow, it was over, so he pounced. He got Biohazard Beluga, and in that moment, it was just Sammy J and Icondescent.
Oh my god!
Earl didn't land it.
And it was that moment Sammy J and Biohazard Beluga prevailed as the winners of the first UHC tournament. Thank you for watching. There will be more of these, and the next one should be a bit better because I'll have better replay footage and more events. And yeah, I hope you have a nice day.